Hello and welcome to True Talk Chelsea. This is the number one podcast for all your Chelsea wants and needs. We hope you enjoy. Yes, that's right, guys. Welcome back to True Talk Chelsea. Today we'll be discussing who we think is the top, best, most effective player out of all our three new signings. We have Julia, who thinks Kai Havertz is the most effective, Palash, who thinks Timo Werner, and I think Hakim Ziyech.
So Kai Havertz is a German footballer who was born on the 11th of June 1999. Therefore, he's 21 years old. He stands at 6 foot 2 feet tall, 6 foot 2 inches tall, and is originally left-footed, but he's comfortable with both feet on the ball. He can play any attacking position, so both wings, striker and central attacking midfielder, which would be really vital to the squad depth of our team. And since the age of 11, he has played for Bayer Leverkusen. If I can also talk a little bit about how he broke into Leverkusen's first team is that in the 2015 season, Kai played for the under-17 side, in which he scored 18 goals for the club. For those performances, he got awarded an under-17 Silver Frizz Walter Medal, which is a medal given by the German Football Association to the youth football of the season. He also received a gold one for the same category, but for the under-19s. So I feel like the fact that he, received those awards and was regarded as the best youth footballer in the whole of Germany, it really says something.
It's got pretty high expectations to live up to then, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. And he became the club's youngest ever debutant in the Bundesliga, the youngest ever goal scorer the following year, the youngest player to reach the milestones of 1,500 league appearances in top-flight football. Wow. So, he has really been performing since such a young age, since, he was a teenager. And if he could have performed like that at that age, and now that he's 21, now that, he's going to be entering the Premier League on a potentially 5-year deal, then I feel like he can definitely continue.
Yeah. That. And Palash, what do you think on Timo Werner?
So something about the player, Timo is 24. He is 180 centimeters tall and weighs 75 kg. His nationality is German. His main position is the striker, but he can also play on either wings. His preferred foot is right. He started his youth career at Stuttgart, where he got promoted to the senior team in 2013, signed for Leipzig in 2016, and finally signed for Chelsea on July 1st, 2020 for £47.6 million on a 5-year contract. He also has 39 caps for Germany and 11 goals for them. He became the youngest player to play for Stuttgart and the youngest goal scorer. He made the record for the youngest player to reach 50, 100, 150 and 200 Bundesliga appearances.
Wow.
He won the Golden Boot in the FIFA Confederation Cup in 2016. And despite his tender age, he has 222 Bundesliga appearances so far.
Oh, that's good for a 24-year-old, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's very good. We've got Hakim Ziyech. So Hakim Ziyech, he's Moroccan, so he's from Africa. I think he made his first appearances for Netherlands, actually. He's 27 years old, and he previously played for Ajax. So he has played in the Dutch league, but listen to this. Look, here's just a couple of stats. So he's got 0.81 goals/assists per game in the Dutch league, 0.76 goals/assists per game in Champions League, and 0.72 goals/assists per game in overall career. That's including 110 goals and 125 assists. Now, some people, they might like to say, well, it's in Dutch league, it's not quite Bundesliga or something, but let's be real here. A lot of that has been in Champions League, and Dutch league is still quite a decent league, if you ask me, I think. I think it is definitely a league that I think it does have a bit of physicality in it. But yeah, so he has shown what he can do. And what's it called? when playing them infield passes, he's 100% a threat. 100%.
I feel like
sorry.
even though Ziyech hasn't played for one of the best, like one of the top leagues, because I don't think the Dutch league is considered by many as a demanding league as like the Premier League or Liga, Bundesliga, but it shows his consistency that he can provide that kind of attacking threat nearly every single game, and he can really have an impact on his team every single game. So even if he might not be able to get those goals and assists in the Premier League, he can still have that kind of impact. He can still, make the change in our team. So I feel like even that it still means a lot to us.
And Kai Havertz, I mean, he's my favourite player. As some people may have seen on my Instagram, I go on about him quite a lot. I do think he is quite impactful, but I think Hakim Ziyech, being that mainly creator, sort of similar player to Bruno Fernandes for Man United, actually, just with less penalties and stat padding. But he's definitely top creative player. I mean, he's 27, so he's still got a good 5 years in him, I'd say.
Yeah, even though Havertz has scored 74 goals, his highest goals per 90 stats and assists, like he's still let me just rephrase that. Even though Havertz has scored 74 goals, his highest goals per 90 stats and assists have come from a centre-forward position. So the fact that he may not be able to play that centre-forward position could mean that, his goals and assists are quite, I wouldn't want to say deprived, but they may not be as likely, so he might not be able to provide that kind of threat all the time. But I feel like with Ziyech, it's more possible, as he plays both cam and right wing, and I'm pretty sure that the goals and assists are kind of equal.
Yeah.
Especially for Ajax.
And with Havertz, he's sort of a different player, because Hakim Ziyech is a lot about distribution, cutting in on his left, playing them killer crosses into the box, if you like. But Havertz, he's more about sort of little death flicks. He's sort of like slipping someone through and behind the defence. He's quite creative in that sense, but he's quite a nifty little player, especially for someone who's 6'2", I think he is. So it's definitely going to be good to see them two play each other, especially since they're both left-footed as well. We've needed some left-footed players for a while. But, what do you think on Werner, Palash?
So if we see what Werner brings to Chelsea, he brings goals, and lots of them. He's got 13 more goals than any of our players this season. He, in fact, has more goals than both Tammy and Giroud have this season. And as I mentioned, he is just 24, but he has 222 Bundesliga games. And we signed him for £47.6 million, which is, in my opinion, a bargain in today's market.
That is 100% a bargain, because I heard a lot of clubs, when we weren't sure if there was a set price that we had to pay, people were saying like 90 million, 100 million we're going to pay.
I remember,
But, it turns out, I saw something recently on Twitter, actually, that said we've actually only paid 19 million up front of his release clause, apparently. I don't know how true that is, but if that's true, then Marina Granovskaya, she's done a bloody good job.
Yeah, that is nothing for a player like him. I mean, he's already scored a goal in his first appearance in the pre-season, and 19 million up front. It's for a club like Chelsea, that is just little money. It's not that much for a player like him. So I feel like we've definitely got ourselves a good deal and a bargain, 100%.
And he's had such an underrated season. I mean, he's got more goal involvements than Kevin De Bruyne, and as many as Ronaldo this season. But in spite playing in a weaker team comparatively and in a league with 34 games per team, if you look at his style of play, he's a very quick forward with a top speed of 35 kilometers per hour, which would make him probably the second fastest in the league.
Wow. Yeah, and also I saw over the top 5 leagues, he's got, if you take away penalty goals and everything, I think he's the second best goal scorer without penalties, just behind Robert Lewandowski, the second
That's right.
top. So that's a huge stat. He's got a lot to live up to, but the Premier League, as we know, is a bit more of a physical league. But after seeing what he could do against Brighton, I'm pretty positive actually about what he'll be able to do.
Yeah, I mean,
think.
200
And much more than just his finishing. Like, he is a good finisher. He has taken 97 shots, out of which 62 were on target and 28 have resulted in goals. But he's also good at link-up play using flicks, one-touch passes, layoffs efficiently. So this would make him effective in a possession-based system as well as a counter-attacking system.
100%, yeah.
100%.
But bringing it back to Hakim Ziyech and sort of comparing the two, obviously, as we know, Timo Werner's got more goals. Hakim Ziyech has actually got more assists, though, I think. He's got, I think it was 29 goal involvements, which for a right winger is very good, considering he was playing, top flight football still in Champions League and all that. He's got, I think it was 0.58 goals/assists per game in overall career, with 28%. That's pretty brilliant, to be fair. He's got some pretty magnificent stats to back it up, I must say. But so would we like to move it on now to who we think will possibly be the most effective for the club? A little debate.
Yep, if I can just start with that. And I still kind of feel like Havertz would be the most effective because he definitely is like that kind of creative forward, and I feel like we need that kind of creativity, especially in the centre, so we can get the ball forward to players like Timo Werner that will just finish it off. He's got 97 passes that have led to a shot attempt in the Bundesliga, and only Thomas Müller has got more. It just shows you that he really is that kind of attacking force, that attacking push, and would be perfect, in the final third to try and get a goal in. He's got, in the 18-19 and 19-20 seasons in all comps, he's got 27 left-footed goals, 5 right-footed goals, and 5 headed goals. 20 of them have been from open play, 7 pens and 2 set pieces. So it just shows you that, he definitely is creative with his finishing as he scores, with different body parts from different locations. He scores, from the box, from outside the box, left side, right side. So I feel like as long as he gets the ball, we can have some sort of shot, we can have some sort of, assists here and there.
The link-up play as well.
Definitely. Since both Timo and Kai are German, I feel like that because they've played with each other, they know each other. The link-up will be there straight away. We've already seen that with Reece James and Hakim Ziyech for the Brighton match. We've already seen it with Timo, Hudson-Odoi. If we add Kai Havertz into that more central position,
as well.
Definitely. If we add Kai Havertz into the central position, he can be like the main focus, in my opinion. Even with, his pass completion, he's got the most accurate passes of any forward or attacking mid in the Bundesliga, which is at 85%. So it's not like he wastes his time on the ball. He's accurate with long passes as well. So I know that you may think that Ziyech and his crossing, but Kai Havertz has 79.6%, which is the second most of any long passes in the Bundesliga.
I didn't realise that. That's amazing. Now, something I'd quickly like to add as well is that Hakim Ziyech, a lot of people may not know, he is actually very versatile because normally you think of him playing right wing, right midfield the entire time. He's actually played a lot of games in central midfield. He plays as a left winger, right winger, attacking midfielder. He's played most of his games as, actually. And he's also played centre forward for, I think it was like 3 games, and second striker he's played 2. But he is pretty versatile, which we didn't realise. I think he's got, as an attacking midfielder, he's got 62 goals. As a right winger, he's got 29 goals. So I think his best position is attacking midfielder. Obviously, we don't really play with attacking midfielders. If we did, I think Kai Havertz would fit the bill perfectly. But yeah, it's just to show that he is really versatile, which is exactly what Chelsea need. He could play them long crosses, like he did with Ajax with Tagliafico.
Yeah.
Do you remember? He played them long balls, diagonal balls, right over to like the corner flag or something. I think we'll be seeing that a lot next season with Ben Chilwell and everything.
100%. I feel like versatility, especially in the Chelsea side, is extremely valuable. We have players like Mason Mount that play left wing, right wing, and attacking midfielder. Kai Havertz that plays any attacking position. Then I actually didn't know that about Ziyech. I wasn't aware that he can play all that. Timo Werner, the
Werner
wings,
can play on
striker.
both the wings. Yeah.
Yep, definitely. So I feel like the fact that they can play everywhere across the pitch just makes it easy for us to deploy different tactics. And, if one player pushes up, the other one can cover easily without, I'm not sure how to word it, without our team losing its quality and attacking quality.
100%. And Werner, as we know, he can play on both wings. We saw a lot, actually. Yeah. He does, like, a sort of like, we don't really see with Tammy Abraham, but sort of like we saw with, I think it was Higuain. He comes quite deep quite a lot to pick up the ball and moves it forward, keep it going.
Yeah, to be precise, he's got the most number of passes in the final third of all Bundesliga strikers this season.
I was really impressed with that, actually, when watching the game versus Brighton.
Yeah.
But, 100%. On the wing, on both wings as well, he looks so dangerous, especially on that left wing where he can cut in on his right foot. So I think all three, they're definitely going to be brilliant players for us. It's just who will be the most effective. I'm not too sure. I reckon Hakim Ziyech, personally. But, it's definitely going to be very exciting. I mean, what a time to be a Chelsea fan. What a time not to be a Man United fan.
Definitely. But if I can just talk about that Ziyech thing that you said that you think he's the most effective. If you kind of look at, how Bruno Fernandes came into Manchester United back in February, Manchester United were doing poorly. They were doing terribly. He came in, instant change. He's got double digits of assists, I think. Even if, you don't think about the penalties for a second, it's the assists, it's the playmaking.
Yeah.
It's kind of, he's really driving the team. And he didn't come from, one of the top leagues. It's the Portuguese league. It's not regarded as one of the world's best, just like the Dutch league.
Yeah.
So I feel like if he can do that for Manchester United, then Ziyech would have no problem doing that for Chelsea, especially with experience, with the Champions League, with his age as well, as the other two forwards are a lot younger than him.
Yeah. I think Ziyech, for me, personally, I think he's just that creative figure we need that we haven't had with Willian, because Willian, he always looked to take on a man only, really. Never really played them crossfield balls or always tried to get in the box and play a low drilled cross sort of on the outside of the box. But Hakim Ziyech, he just brings different life into the Chelsea team, I think. And I hope he'll play for us, actually, on the first game of the season against Brighton, because I heard he picked up a little knock. Nothing to be worried about. But, Palash, would you like to add?
The only concern I have about Ziyech and Havertz is that Havertz has been good for like 1 to 2 seasons, but Timo has been putting up the performances since the last 6 to 7 seasons in the Bundesliga. Yeah. He is a very versatile forward. As we discussed, he can play on either wings or through the middle. And he has all the traits of a perfect striker. He is always there at the right place at the right time, as we saw versus Brighton. And he has been challenging the best striker in the world for the Golden Boot in Germany. And I'm sure he will repeat the same over here in the Prem.
100%. Okay, so now we've sort of had a little debate, but now we're going to have sort of sped up debate for, I think, about a minute, 2 minutes. So we're each going to have all our stats, statistics and everything. And if we'd like to have a quick debate on who we think will be the most effective player. So I'll start with Hakim Ziyech. Obviously, he's very creative style of play. fantastic vision and ability to match, to be able to pick a pass out as well. Often cuts in on his left foot from the right and finds the ball into the box. We know that. Or on the far side of the field. He's got great distribution. He'll obviously have great link-up play with Ben Chilwell like he did with Tagliafico. But always looks for a pass, which is something I don't think we really had with Willian. He always thought he could beat a player when quite a lot of the time he got tackled. But he's 100% got the statistics to prove it as well. 0.61 goals assists per game in overall career. I've already said that, but that's something that can't be looked over. And Ziyech has 6 more goals than Kevin De Bruyne, despite playing 126 less matches. So he's got some pretty amazing stats. Julia, would you like to state your reason on Kai Havertz?
So it's kind of similar to what you were saying about the vision and the creativity. Like I mentioned previously, he's got a pass completion percentage of 85%, which is the most accurate of any forward or attacking mid. Which, he can definitely pick out his passes just like Ziyech. And even if, Havertz and Ziyech do link up, definitely it's all going to be accurate, all going to be spot on. Same with Timo Werner. There's a fun fact, actually, that Kai Havertz is in the top 10 players with most nutmegs in the Bundesliga. So even though, it's not a stat to show that he's amazing, it's still a bit of fun, and he definitely can add a creative aspect into his game. Furthermore, he's got 118 Bundesliga apps. That's just for the senior team of Leverkusen. As for overall, including the youth, he's got 215, but he scores or assists more than half of the time. He's got 36 goals and 25 assists, which adds up to a total of 61 goals and assists in 118 games. So it's still a lot, especially for his age. For me, it's mostly about his age, that at 21, he can do it all. He has even been compared to players like Michael Ballack, Toni Kroos, and Ozil. He's someone that can do it all. He can play any position, score with any body part. He's amazing in my opinion. The only thing that I think sets him back from players like Timo Werner or Hakim Ziyech is that he only has 8 appearances in the UCL. So if we are wanting to contend for the UCL to, get further than this year, which was the round of 16, he only has 8 appearances and no goals or assists. The only major competition that he has been performing in is the Europa League, with 7 games, 5 goals, and 11 assists. So, I'm not sure how he would perform in the UCL then. If he can perform in the Europa, it doesn't necessarily mean he can perform in the UCL. I don't have any doubts, but I can't, just say he will definitely perform because he doesn't have the experience. Yeah, he is the youngest, which means that he has the most potential, the brightest future. So if we do sign him on a 5-year deal, I feel like he can be a massive asset to the team in terms of going forward. But as of now, I'm going to have to say that I don't feel like he will, be the most effective.
Yeah.
He will definitely play a massive part, especially through the middle, down the middle, at that kind of central position to link up, the left wing, right wing, and striker, because he will definitely do that with his passes, the creativity, with him going into the box. But as of now, I'm going to have to say that we'd have to wait and see for him.
Yeah. And Palash on Timo Werner.
So Timo has all the traits of a perfect finisher. He hardly misses any one-on-ones, and he's also very good at finishing from wide angles. But it's not just his finishing, his link-up play as well. So his link-up play can be made to use when we play against weaker teams in the Premier League, when we dominate a lot of possession. And his pace and his counter-attacking abilities will be made to use when we play against the bigger teams in the UCL, which we'll play through the break.
Yeah.
And apart from that, all in all, we've got one of the best strikers in the world for a bargain fee, who has a lot of experience for his age and a lot of goal-scoring ability. Yeah. And that'll be the reason why I feel Timo is the best signing we've made.
And to be honest, I think, just to add to that, Palash, I think there was an aspect of him actually carrying RB Leipzig at one point, because without his goals, I think I saw that I think they would have finished fifth or something. I think they would have finished really much lower down. So he definitely is vital to a team, definitely vital. Something we've missed when we've had Morata and also Higuain as well we had. But I think, personally, for me, Ziyech will be most effective, something we haven't had since Willian. Willian didn't really do it, actually, but he was okay, I guess. But definitely, in my opinion, I think he'll be most effective. Yeah, you go. Sorry.
If I can also add to Palash's point about Timo Werner, if you compare Timo Werner to our current two strikers, I'm not going to count Batshuayi as he hasn't played that much.
Yeah.
And he's not really in the plans anymore. But Tammy Abraham and Oliver Giroud. Tammy Abraham has 22 big chances missed in the Premier League. And that is not something that you want from a top striker that will allow us to finish, top 3, potentially top 2, looking forward into the future as well, not just the season coming up. So if Tammy Abraham would have finished those chances, which he didn't, we definitely would have gotten some more points and won some key games, which I feel like Timo Werner will bring 100% into the team, and he can be one of the top strikers in the league. Tammy Abraham isn't there yet. He has the potential, and it has just been his first season in the Prem, so I don't expect massive things from Werner either. But just looking at their history, Werner is way more experienced than Tammy Abraham.
Yeah.
And a lot younger than Giroud as well. So he can definitely have an impact.
With all that, I think we're coming up to the end of the podcast now. So everyone watching on YouTube, I'd like to ask you to leave down below who you think will be our most effective player. Also, who's your favourite player? And if you're listening on Spotify, then I guess just tell someone close to you or go to one of our Instagram pages. So with all that being said, hope you have a wonderful day, everyone. Thank you, Palash. Thank you, Julia.
Thank you.
And we'll see everyone later. See ya.